Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
It's fight week, show week, show week, same thing. And you know what that means? It means on Sunday we return to our spiritual home of 96 Shenley Road, which also means we're previewing the show, which is right behind me. As they I've disappeared on screen. There you go, right behind me, across the screen. That also means that we are joined by the man that does have his own parking space here at Turnbuckle Towers, the general manager of Ignite, Mr. CJ Carter. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Hello to everyone listening. Thanks for having me back. I love being on here. So yeah, it's nice to speak to you again.
It feels like forever since
I know that's the thing, because there's like 2 months. Well, this is actually 3 months between shows, because usually it's like kind of roughly 2 months between shows. But yeah, we did November, and then I'm not brave enough to do a December or January show. Lots of promoters are braver than I, and unless I'm doing the first week of December, I'm skipping December, January.
Yeah, I mean, we are in like the 50th day of January, or what feels like the 50th day of January. Anyway,
it's a long old month. Everyone gets paid early in December, so January feels like it's like some kind of weird 6 or 7 week month that never ends and is always dark, and no one has any money. So yeah.
Well, that's it. Welcome to the real world of stuff. So
and we break out of that straight in to chapter 3. So that's it. What better way to celebrate the end of January than chapter 3?
Exactly that. And if you want to be a part of chapter 3, you need to hurry up, by the way.
Yeah, legit 9 tickets left. Obviously, I'm not sure when this is going out, but as
Tuesday.
Going out Tuesday.
Oh,
okay, so depending on what sells in the next like 12 hours or so, like there's 9 tickets left, and that's like, this is, I know sometimes there's hyperbole and there's a little bit of like, a few little lies going on sometimes to, a bit of marketing, bit of sales going on, but there is genuinely 9. There's 9 tickets left, and we're not going to get any more chairs in, any more seats in. So once they're gone, they're gone. So if you want to be with us on Sunday, move fast. Don't count on walk-ups or anything like that. So
sardines in cans. Which is a great thing, by the way. We're not laughing about that. In all seriousness, it's great because it means that we're going to have a packed arena, or you're going to have a packed arena. Say we, because our title match is on the show.
No, totally we. Hidden Turnbuckle is part of the team, 100%.
We'll talk about the Turnbuckle title shortly, but first, obviously, back of last year. Amazing show in November. We have this big break. There's a load of tickets sold early doors. Let's say down to the final 9 now. But we come to Sunday, and it's kind of like reintroducing the fans to Ignite again after such a long break. But it's also important that kind of feel like that level has to be kept. And that's the difficult thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we spoke about it before. And I always I set myself, if every show I set myself kind of like a high bar, and I get very disappointed if we don't meet it. And the problem, I guess, is it a problem? It's not really a problem, but we've been doing really well since hitting the Turnbuckle came on board. You've been like the lucky kind of omen for us. They've come in from July. It's just gone from strength to strength. And the back end of last year was incredible, which is great. But I obviously want to hit that bar again, at least hit that bar, if not, top it, which is going to get harder and harder and harder every time. How do you keep topping it every single time? So yeah. Obviously we got a lot of debuts coming in on this one, which hopefully will help. Kind of gonna have to start a few new stories, I think, because we closed quite a few stories at the end of last year. There's a couple still running, and we started a few kind of, so it's like start a few new stories, continue some stories, introduce everyone to Ignite again, and hopefully get some new fans in for the new year as well. That would be nice. It's always nice to, first show of the year is usually the show where you get the most amount of new fans, I've noticed over the years, because it's, people kind of come out of their hiding place over Christmas and January. It's like, we'll try something new this year, New Year's resolution type thing. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, a show as good as the last 3 or 4, and hopefully some new loyal Ignite fans to join us.
Certainly feels that way because the tickets flew out. I was literally, we was leaving on the show and we got the next couple of days. All of a sudden, you're 30,
Yeah.
50, 60% done before Christmas, which is a great feeling. So you obviously left an impression on some of the new fans. We even know there was new fans at the curtain call because they announced it to ourselves when we were talking to them.
Yeah. There was a good kind of core of new people that kind of came to the November show. I know the fellow podcasters, Ministry of Wrestling, were there, and that was their first show. And they've linked up with you since, which is great to see. I
Yes.
saw you did, you opened the forbidden door of the podcast world, which was good to see. And they're great guys as well. They really are. I did their podcast a couple of weeks ago. It was cool. It was an epic. It was like over 2 hours long. So they split it into 2 parts. And yeah, they were new, and they're back, and they're bringing new people with them again. So they're bringing like partners and friends and everything. So great. That's what you want, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, it's brilliant. It's great it is also great to open that forbidden door because it does give you that more people that we didn't know them before the show. Obviously, there was, but we met them at the show, and obviously that then brings another show, and then we'll meet up again at another show, and that hopefully will bring that recurring trend to Ignite, like it does to a lot of other shows. There's no doubt about it. People meet up elsewhere. So that's a really great thing. Yeah, the Ministry guys are great. They're great fun. That was a great show we had with them as well. We went long as well on that. It was a long one for us.
How long was it? How long was yours? I haven't actually listened to yours yet.
What? No, I'm joking.
There's only so many hours in the day.
Well, yeah, true. I don't know, it's probably a good hour and a half-ish, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. But anyway, let's talk curtain call. Curtain call? No, we've done turn. I've made that mistake already. Chapter 3. I've got the card right in front of me, literally looking down at it, calling it curtain call. We're talking about debuts and returns to Ignite. Sets us up nicely. First match we're going to talk about is Sapphire Reed and Artemis. Now, those of you that haven't seen Sapphire Reed before, you're in for an absolute treat. She is one of an absolute killer of a year in 2023. She started 2024 really well. Artemis is a returning face that we'll all know, part of Team Buckle. So a lot of these people here I'll be saying that about as we move on. But Artemis, is the Crimson Kill Shot. She was a part of it last year, returning again this year. Should be a really interesting encounter between these two.
Yeah. So starting with Sapphire, I can't really put into words how happy I am to have her back. Through various reasons of scheduling, her being busy, and us not necessarily having the space on the cards, we haven't made it work between us to get her back. And it will actually be, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, it would have be 2 years to the show since she was last on an Ignite show. When she's back, and last time out, obviously 2 years ago is a long time, so we have to reintroduce her again, I think. But she beat Kira Kamira, who, as you've seen on the previous shows that she's been on, that's no easy feat. And she made an impression then, but that was 2 years ago. So, and it's very early on in her career. And since then, she has gone on to be one of, if not the top female talent in the country. I don't really think that's arguable. She's now a regular on Rev Pro. She is a permanent regular on Eve shows and has been the Eve champion and won the She Won. She's done it all, right? And that's just in the 2 years since she was last with us. So it's a completely different Sapphire coming back. And I've tried a few times, tried getting her back at the end of last year, but we just couldn't quite make it work. So I'm so glad to have her back. And she's going to bring something real special to this show. And obviously going up against Artemis, who has had a couple of shows off, who came in and straight out the gate just became a massive fan favorite with our fans. It kind of took me a little bit by surprise because obviously she does a lot of stuff as the Odyssey around the country, doing very well in that tag, and mostly, not always, mostly work kind of heel, the Odyssey. Came in and the fans just took to her, much like with Aluna. So we've now got Artemis and we've got Aluna who are just completely adored by our fans. So, great to have Artemis back, but oh my word, to have Sapphire back at 96 Shenley Road, it's huge for us. And you'll be seeing a lot more of Sapphire at Ignite this year, I promise you.
That's going to be good. It's also, and I think I said this before, it's also the reputation that you're bringing at Ignite, the fact that these guys want to come. to these shows. Well, it's all well and good reaching out to them. So, you'd love you on your show, love you on your show, but they've also got to want to come to the show. And it's testament to you, the likes that you've had, the likes of Oku, and we're going to talk Jay Joshua's in a minute, but testament to how the brand's coming along.
Yeah, I mean, it has grown a lot since I first started it. Even in the concept of it, it's kind of grown. You know, from day one, it was kind of you know, lesser known talent, you know, sprinkled with some more known talent for various, you know, reasons. And we've just built up, just grown and grown and grown and grown to the point where it's now, you know, like you said, we're bringing in the Crowleys and the Okus and Gene Moneys, and now Sapphire, who is one of the biggest female names in the country, is coming back and is happy to come back. And I'm so kind of appreciative that all of these, the caliber of talents still want to, you know, they want to come and work for Ignite. And the fact that I have managed to kind of grow it from the beginning, from show one, and prove that it is a place that you can come and work, and it's a trusted place to take bookings, and it's a place you're going to enjoy. Hopefully enjoy working there. I think people always do enjoy working the shows, and working in front of a good crowd. It's usually always a full crowd, and I try to look after all the talent. So it's like, yeah, it is nice to know that they do want to come and do these shows.
Exactly that. I'll be interested to see that match as well. I'm looking for the radio. I haven't seen the Radioactive one for a while, so it'd be good to see her, and obviously always good to see anyone that's a part of Team Buckle. So always good to see them. Move on to a match that's going to have a slight storyline to it. You mentioned that we're going to be continuing some, and this is one of those. This is going to be the Bryant brothers against True and Lacey. Now, we have to go way back to September. Gold Rush, I got that one right, didn't I? Nino and Mark had a bit of a to-do. Mark, True, then attacks Nino at the end of the match, injuring his ankle, basically causing him to miss curtain call in November. And now they're back. Mark's brought back up in the form of Kieran Lacey. Now, he's a recognizable face to Ignite because he was part of the breakout. But he's now aligned himself with Mark True. They've done some major things up in Rev Pro and Progress Wrestling. They've been very, very highly fought after from there. But it's interesting because when we saw Kieran last time, he was a face, and now he's aligned himself to that Mark True.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, you kind of nailed it there. Like in September last year at Gold Rush, True took Nino out. He couldn't make the last show of last year, unfortunately. He's now back. He said he's bringing his brother. True said, well, you know, if you're bringing your brother in, then, you know, I'm going to bring some backup. And he's brought his pal Kieran Lacey, who he's been touring the country with since we last saw them. Now our regulars at Rev Pro are working for Progress as well. It's like, wow, have they blown up in the last 6 months? You know, they are now those names that are sort of like right at the top of like the hottest new kind of breakout talents in the country. So yeah, to have those two together on this show is amazing. And yeah, last time we saw Kieran, he was wrestling True, faced off 1-on-1. Obviously, since then they've worked each other at many promotions, and they're now, you know, a very established tag team together as well. So obviously through that, they have such great chemistry and a great relationship. So obviously True decided that he's the man to bring in for this one. True has a bit of a bone to pick with Nino because he kind of feels like he should have been the real true breakout star from that first year of the breakout division. He still feels to this day that really that was his kind of moniker that he should be having, and he should have walked out with that trophy, and he should have walked out with that title shot that ultimately Nino did in the end. So that's kind of the battle of the like breakout stars of the first year, and they've both brought some backup in Xander and Kieran, and God, I mean, what a show stealing tag match this could really be. And I'm sure people will be over the moon to have Nino back as well, because that's the end of last year. The Curtain Call November is actually the first show he's ever missed for us. It's the only Ignite show he's not been on since day one. So and a hometown boy, so I'm sure they'll be very happy to see him back.
Definitely so. He always gets a big, you know, there's always a big Nino chant from the crowd every time he's there. It will be interesting. And funny enough, the last show, the tag match stole the show for many different reasons. That was CPF and the Rebellion, which leads me very nicely on to Z Rebellion. Taylor James, another member of Team Buckle, a part of Team Buckle this year. But him and Jack had some slight issues at the last one, to the point where he actually threw Taylor threw the Rebellion armband on the floor, left on his own. This time he's back, but he's out for revenge on CPF. And this time Lando and Black were a bit busy over defending their tag team championships abroad. So they have decided to send in a CPF of their own in Maverick Mayhew, making his debut at Ignite. Now, I saw Maverick, we went to RCWA at the back end of last year. It was very briefly on in front of the crowd, but a very good performance nevertheless.
Very brief.
Very, very brief show, but looking forward to that one. Again, we're talking about matches that could steal the show, and Taylor and Maverick could easily do that. But Taylor's got to have gold aspirations this year at Ignite.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that was kind of the emphasis for him, kind of, pushing Jack away and be like, I've had enough of this now. I think the frustration is starting to set in. There's been an underlying frustration with Taylor for a while. I feel like that he feels he doesn't necessarily get the recognition he deserves across the whole scene, if I'm honest. And he's kind of done everything that you can do as a tag team. He's kind of won every tag team gold there is to win. And he still doesn't feel like he's getting that recognition. And maybe he's starting to, lay that blame solely on Jack for that. And I think he feels if he wants to get the recognition that he thinks he deserves, he needs to get a big singles championship around his waist. And he's clearly wanting to go for that Ignite title. And, that I think to him means cutting Jack loose, but we'll have to see how that goes. And, he kind of, I think he wanted to kind of prove himself. They lost, obviously, in that, what I would say is match of the year last year, to be honest. I mean, it was incredible. What a match, the Rebellion and CPF. Yeah. It was just blew the roof off 96. You'd be hard pushed to see a better tag match anywhere on the planet, I think, let alone in this country. And, coming out of that CPF one, and I think Taylor just wants to prove himself, that he can beat CPF. And with Joe and Danny over defending their tag team titles abroad, they couldn't make this one. They've sent, as you said, Mayhew in instead to make his Ignite debut. And the fans were in for a treat with the debut of Maverick Mayhew. He is a one of a kind. He really is. And Taylor's familiar with him. They've worked around the country before, so he does know kind of his style. He knows what he's kind of walking into. So there's so many unanswered questions in this one, right? That's what this match is about. Where are the Rebellion going? Does the Rebellion exist anymore? What is next for them? Is Taylor absolutely 100% committed to walking away from Jack and the Rebellion? And what does that mean for Jack? Can Taylor prove himself in this singles match that he can beat someone of the caliber of a member of CPF? And what's Mayhew bringing on his debut? So there's so many questions to be answered in this one. And also just two incredible workers. Someone said to me a couple of weeks ago, God, I didn't realize it was possible for a show to have 6 main events, but you seem to have managed that. And you look at I might be blowing my own trumpet a little bit here, and sorry if I am, but like you do look at this card and you're like, wow, every one of these matches could probably main event a show. Yeah, around the country, like on any other show potentially where they're not all on the same card. You look at that and you think most of these matches could main event. Mayhew and Taylor could main event a show easily. There's no reason why this couldn't end up stealing the show. It's going to be interesting to see every match on this card trying to top the last, because it's going to I don't know where it's going to end.
It's going to be really good. Yeah, you're right. Any one of these matches could easily main event the show, any show for that matter. And you're right about Taylor. I'm interested to see the pathway that he chooses. It's an interesting.
If he does want that singles gold at Ignite, and if he does feel like that's what he's missing to get that recognition, then he's got to earn it, right? Because I know the Rebellion were undefeated as a tag, but he has a kind of 50-50 win-loss record as a singles. So it's like you need to start, delivering as a singles wrestler now and proving that you want that title shot, right? So, step up Mayhew. What you got, man?
Exactly that. I can't wait for that one. We're going to go from one Maverick to another, from Maverick Mayhew to the absolute Maverick, Tommy Carl. He was on recently. He had a stop. Well, say a stop-start year. It stopped and then it started because he was injured and then he come back. He's gunning for gold. And on this one, it caused a bit of controversy with Corey, I must say. He's just gone holiday. He's snowboarding or skiing or somewhere in Europe, Austria, I think he is.
Okay.
I spoke to him just before he was due to fly out. So that interview's gone out. But yeah, so this is going to be a number one contender match for it. Let's just get into that first. So Tommy Carl versus Corey McRae versus Team Buckles, Aluna, and Team Buckles women's champion, Aluna.
Aluna. Yeah.
Yes. So Corey's gripe was that although he lost to Gene, who lost to Adonis, he doesn't get his mandatory single one-on-one rematch. But he said that if I have to go through these two, he will do. But this match is going to be really, really interesting. You've got the striking brilliance of Corey. You've got the great sort of technician that is the Maverick. And in the middle of that, you've got this high-flying, confident now Aluna, which there may have been a few confidence issues when she started, but she's now fully confident in her ability. You've got three different styles there, which can make for yet again another main event caliber match.
Well, all three of them are main eventers, aren't they? I mean, kind of goes without question that Corey's the main eventer. He main evented our shows for 14 months. So, look, I get his frustrations at not getting a mandatory immediate title shot back. The thing is that he's not actually the last champion, is he? No. So it's a tricky one. Ultimately, isn't it Gene who gets the mandatory title shot? I know it's a bit of a because he lost the title, but then the title's moved on again since then. So technically his mandatory rematch is with Gene, but Gene's not champion anymore. So how does that work? So I feel like unfortunately for Corey, it does kind of have to then come back down a little bit to get that title. Look, it's not like he's just disappearing back on a nothing match. He's got an absolute great opportunity here to get his title, to get his title shot back. So I think I've given him that at least straight out the gate. He gets his opportunity. And Tommy Cartwell's coming fresh off his return. He came straight out of the gate to beat Mark True. So I think beating someone of that caliber deserves, to get an opportunity at a title shot. So that's why Tommy Carl's back in this. And I mean, Aluna, come on, what a year she had last year. How could she not be in this to earn herself, potentially earn herself a number one contendership shot at the title? Because, she not only did she beat Kira Kamura in an absolutely incredible no disqualification match last year, and Kira was on a great run herself, and she's no easy opponent to get past. Then she went after that in back-to-back shows. She then beat Nina Samuels, who is, if Sapphire is not the top female worker in the country, then it's Nina. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they, it's 1A and 1B there. Like, in my opinion, they are just incredible, those two. So she's beating Kira, and then she's beating, who if it's not Sapphire and it's not Nina, then it's probably, Kira's up there as well. She's beaten two of the best female workers in the country last year. And she is probably, alongside Smashing Mike, the most popular person, at Ignite. I don't think that's even arguable. Like, my goodness, when she comes out, they just love her. And it just makes perfect sense for her to be in this match with Tommy and with Corey. So, and yeah, Corey's going to be, I wouldn't want to be on the end of your kicks in that match. I'll be honest. He's going to be pissed off. He is going to be, he's usually pretty miserable, bloody son of a bitch anyway. Let's face it, even at the best of times. But having just lost his title, feeling, and I do get it to a degree, feeling a little bit wrong that he's not just getting an immediate title shot back, he's going to be one miserable, pissed off son of a bitch in that match. So, and I'm sure he's going to be absolutely focused as well. on getting that title back. So good luck to Tommy and good luck to Aluna in that one. I mean, any three of them would be worthy winners, you know, and any three of them would be worthy champions as well. So we'll see, because, you know, Tommy's close behind. I said like Aluna and Smasher might be in the most popular wrestlers at Ignite. I think Tommy is very close behind at this stage.
Definitely.
And bearing in mind, he's only had one match back. So, you know, to come straight out of the gate after a year out and only have one match, and the fans just take to him so immediately. You know, he spent his first year with us as a heel. So, yeah, there's big things to come for Tommy. Big things to come for Luna, no matter what comes out of this match, I think. And I mean, it goes without saying that, you know, Corey's has always been and will always be one of the top talents of Ignite. So
yeah, looking forward to that one. Could be Aluna 2 belts. But the sound of it's women's champion.
Could be Aluna 3 belts. She's already got 2, isn't she?
She's got out. Oh yes, you're right.
She's got the United Future Proof Championship as well. So
yeah, as well as the
you know, she's going to start becoming a little belt collector herself. So
she's beaten enough belt collectors to get it. So yeah, definitely could be. Looking forward to that. Let's move to one of the main. Well, say one of. We just spoke about 4 main events, but yeah, let's talk about it. I had this feeling that our title is cursed. Every time we book it, every time we get a match in, we have to change. We done it the first time. We was meant to have Ridgeway, and we got Real Cruise, which wasn't the baddest thing in the world because that match was unbelievable.
Oh, incredible! How, you know, Will Cruz stepped in and just like
stepped in and stepped up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a debut at Ignite have so many people ask, when is he back? When is he back? Is Will on the next show? Is Will on the next show? Is Will on the next show? It's like, you know, Will be back. I promise. But yeah, it's just finding the right time and place for that. But yeah,
indeed. And this time we was meant to have Darice and Mike in the Battle of the Charismas. Darice unfortunately had to go to America. He's booking in America. What can you say?
No, GCW are loving Darice at the moment, so you know you can't turn down a tour for GCW over there. I totally get it. Like he also had to pull out of a TNT booking, which is, you know, I think as much as I obviously love my own promotion, I think TNT is probably a slight step above Ignite at the moment. I'd love to get to that level. Don't get me wrong. I see TNT in that same kind of bracket as like Progress Rev Pro. It's in that real top echelon. And so, yeah, it wasn't, my point is it wasn't just us. Like he had, you know, he genuinely had to pull out of, quite a few bookings over here because it was just that big an opportunity. Like, how on earth do you turn down GCW, like multiple dates for GCW? It could be, that could be life changing and career changing. Do you know what I mean? That turns into a regular thing for him because of that. Then all of a sudden it's a complete game changer. So, you know, best of luck to Darice out there. You know, absolutely.
And it only even takes, you know, someone just a talent scout from a company in America just to be there. You know, these things do happen. They send scouts out there all the time. So it doesn't have to necessarily be GCW. Someone could legit be their talent scouting for a TNA, an AEW, a WWE, and Darice is there and he's got the opportunity. So we, you know, as you said, you can't turn it down. However, when it comes to replacements, well, I mean, he's gone to America, so why not have someone that's been a part of a WWE in the WWE UK? In this case, Eddie Dennis. I think you sent me 3 words. One was Eddie, the second one was effing, and the third one was Dennis, and mine was just yes, please. Simple as that. This is still going to be, and I'm loving it with Mike, how we've really changed up the styles and the characters that he's facing up. Obviously, the first one was going to be Ridgeway, which was going to be technical, but that turned into Will Cruz, which was the strong and the powerful. Was going to have Darice, which was kind of his kind of opponent, you know, as I said, the charisma levels and stuff. But with Eddie Dennis, you've got an all-round performer here. So Mike's going to be tested differently to how he was tested under Will Cruz.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of nailed it. That he has had to wrestle all kinds of different styles, types of wrestler, and he's kind of proven that he can kind of do it all, Mike. So we'll see here with Eddie. But yeah, my word, what a replacement! Like I was, you know, I've always lived by the kind of motto of, if you're gonna have to replace someone, you've got to at least make it the same or better than. It has to be the same or better than. You can't really go in under. You know, and we set the bar so high with Darice. It's like, how do you match that, let alone better it? And of course, Eddie Dennis. Like, I mean, come on, like It doesn't get much bigger or better than that. Legit Brit Rest legend. Like he has done it all. Progress, Progress champion, Progress tag champion, and then has obviously gone over to WWE, was signed to WWE, NXT UK, and was working over there for them for a good period of time. So he has that. I mean, it's just, I was just talking about how big a promotion like TNT is, and even to me and to Ignite, TNT seems huge, right? But then WWE is like another universe. It's not even like if you're talking like, I don't know, you've got sort of like within the same country, you've got brackets, and then just in a completely different universe somewhere like light years away, you've got WWE. It's just like, it's not comparable. So he's been there and he's learned from the people there. He's done it with the absolute best. He's learned from the absolute best, and he's come back over to the Brit Rest scene where he first made his name and has done it all, and he's coming back to now prove himself over here again. And it's and is much beloved by every single fan in the country. So I'm so happy to have Eddie on this show, and I'm sure you are as well. I'm sure all of Hitting the Turnbuckle are mega happy to have him attached to your brand, because I'm certainly hyped to have him attached to our brand. And yeah, I mean, Mike will take on all comers. That's the one thing I love about Mike. It doesn't matter whether it's a Will Cruz, a Chris Ridgway, an Eddie Dennis, a George Lydon, and a Mark True, a Nino Bryant, like whether it's like an all-out charisma thing, or whether it's a workhorse technical wrestler, or whether it's like big over-the-top character, or whether it's a high flyer, whether it's a power guy, a big guy. Mike could go in there and go one-on-one with anyone, nose to nose. And he can do it all, Mike. I think people underrate Mike a lot, because he's so big on the charisma and the character, and he's such an over-the-top guy, that people really do underestimate his in-ring ability. And he gets to test it against someone who's been in the WWE. So, if you can prove yourself against someone who's come from that level, you can prove yourself against anyone, right? So, so we'll see if he comes out with that championship still, because I'm sure Eddie would like to take that Hitting the Turnbuckle crown and, potentially take it around the country and show it off. And so we'll see.
We will. It should Mike be victorious in that. I have a great idea for his next opponent, and it's technical brilliance. So we need to have a chat after the show.
Okay.
We'll leave that chat for after the show. But yeah, I have a great idea. Should Mike be successful, of course.
You've never let us down yet. You've never let us down yet.
No, I'm hopefully I can pull another rabbit out of a hat with it. But anyway, that's assuming Mike's successful. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Of course. If Eddie's successful, I've got somebody else in mind, but it'd be totally different. But anyway, let's talk, I suppose, the main event of the show.
Co-main event. Yeah, co-main event. Yeah.
Co-main event. Let's co-main event it. Your new champion, and again, another member of Team Buckle here, so I've got to exclude biasness.
Well, you're like the Bobby Heenan family back in the day, Hitting the Turnbuckle. Yeah, jeez.
That was Dangerous Alliance. I should get a ponytail and pretend to be Paul Heyman. Adonis Payne, who's the new Ignite champion, obviously Zed cashed, won the breakout, cashed it in the very same. I did warn everybody that he was going to at least, be watching the main event, and he's definitely watched it.
He did more than watch it.
Yeah. As soon as that match was over, he was out and he was hitting Gene over the head with the title.
Yeah, Gene didn't even get a chance to kind of like lift the belts up and like bask in his victory before Adonis was in the back door and nailing him with his trophy.
Gene was like halfway on the second rope trying to pull himself up at that point, because he'd just gone through a war with Corey. And it was, I mean, Gene, we know Gene is this comedy wrestler, but it was a war. There was a good side of Gene on this one. And he was, he was literally just about getting to his feet before Mr. Payne decided to bring the pain. As the ministry said, that's what they were chanting for. But Gene trying to bring the pain, and he did. He said he hit Gene with the trophy, hit him with, I always call it the Claymore. I don't know what he calls it, but I call it the Claymore pin.
Yeah, it's always the Claymore to me, I guess.
There we go. I'm glad you agree. And that was it. He wins the title. And again, it was Ignite trying to who can we get in, or who can you get in for the first opponent? And Jay Joshua, I mean, we could just say less. I mean, that's his motto, right? But he is someone that's been in Wales. Well, what the pro wrestling scene in Wales, I've been there. I can
Yeah,
testify for this. Is unbelievable. It's
yeah.
just, really, really top talent out there. And I think you've picked probably, if not arguably, the best one out of the crop to take on Adonis here.
Yeah, that's it. You're right with the Welsh scene, and you can actually, funnily enough, you can thank Eddie Dennis for that. You want to go all the way back with Eddie and with Wild Boar and with Mandrews, and with Pete Dunne as well, obviously, because obviously they kind of like attack wrestling kind of was born with them, and they really made the Welsh scene what it is today, and it has spawned the new crop of talent that is out there. Jay Joshua being one of them. And I've known for a good while, going way back to our time in Frontline together, working under Will Ospreay there, and I've always been a big fan, always been a huge fan of Jay. And he's now, like you said, he's gone on to be one of, if not the best talent in the Welsh scene, and he's now branching out all around the country. To be honest, obviously he's made his name in the Welsh scene, and that is where he's most known. He's taken on some absolutely incredible talents out there. People like Big Damo, is pretty much every top talent in the country has gone through the Welsh scene and has faced Jay Joshua at some point. I think it's fair to say. And he just brings something different. He brings something that no one else really brings. He has that kind of hybrid, a little bit like Corey, but throw in the kind of like the powerhouse and the suplexes as well. So he's got that kind of MMA striking style, but then he's got that kind of a little bit like a Taz style as well. Do you know, he's got that kind of like old school MMA style with the throws and the suplexes. And I mean, he hits hard. He said, I mean, his whole thing is say less, but anyone's in the ring with him is going to want him to kick less. That's for sure. Like I mean, and what a test for Adonis in his first match. I don't know what Adonis was thinking he might get for his first defense, but if he wants to come in the back door and kind of take that title in the way he did, then I think he's going to have to prove himself out of the gate to hold on to it, in my opinion. And that's why I've tried to bring someone in who is going to absolutely test him to his ability in every way. In-ring skill, pain levels, what can you take? What kind of endurance do you have? If you can get through Jay Joshua, who I think is one of the best in the country, certainly the best on the Welsh scene, then I think you do deserve to hold that championship. I'm not saying Adonis doesn't deserve it. He won. Look, he got through 5 other people in that breakout final. He won the breakout division last year. He absolutely earned himself a title shot, and he had the right to cash in whenever he wanted. But I think now he has that gold, and he kind of, with winning it without getting through a match, I think he does have to prove himself now, in my opinion. And that is why I brought in Jay Joshua, because like I said, if you can get through him, then he has proved himself, in my opinion. And he will sit atop of the Ignite roster, rightly so, with that championship. And then it'll be a case of who's coming for it next. Because Corey wants it back. Can he get through that triple threat? I know, Taylor, I know, is gunning for some gold. Tommy Khan and Aluna both in that triple threat as well, and I'm sure they both want to taste that gold. So who ultimately will be coming for that championship for him? And can he get anywhere close to Corey's reign? Can he live up to what Corey did? I don't know if anyone will, but it'd be good to see, good to find out. 14 months is a long time to hold championship. We're only just entering our 3rd year of Ignite. So October was our 2-year anniversary. So we're just over 2 years. And you think Corey held the championship for basically half of the entire existence of Ignite. So, it's going to be hard to kind of top that. Good luck to Adonis. That's what I say. But, at the same time, I've got a lot of respect for him. He is, an absolutely incredible talent. And I mean, what I can say about him, I'll sit here and say that Corey was the best champion we've ever had and will be for some time to come. But no one has risen through the ranks of Ignite faster than Adonis. Like, no, it's not even close or comparable. That, November was literally his 2nd show with us, and he walked out with the championship.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, no one, I don't think anyone will ever rise through the ranks of Ignite that quick again. So he has that to his name, that's for sure.
He certainly does, and well, Mark True obviously doesn't shop about winning titles either. So he might want to go for one as well. Funnily enough, Adonis did have a little bit to say about Tommy Kyle. He did come out and say that he done in two matches what Tommy Kyle's failed to do in 2 years. And
Yeah, I mean,
kind of lining up his own
not
enemies, isn't he?
he's not wrong, and he's obviously not short on confidence, is he, old Adonis Payne? However, what I will say is Tommy Kyle did spend 1 year of that 2 years out injured. So
yeah, exactly that.
But no, he's right. He's not wrong. He's done in 2 shows what no one at Ignite has managed to do in that length of time. Even Corey. I know obviously Corey got there, but he didn't do it in 2 shows. So no, I don't know if anyone will actually do that again. Like that will probably be a record set for a long time. So, fair play to Adonis on that one. And I guess he does have the right to brag a little bit.
Yeah, he does. So that's all the matches. Obviously, there may be a little announcement from us on that show. Who knows? We'll keep things tight. We'll have to talk prior to the show. But there could be something that happens during that show with us and you, me, or whatever you want to call it. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But also, your tickets for April are already on sale.
Yeah,
Full Throttle, it's called. The next one, April the 21st, still we're back at Shenley Road again, April the 21st. Tickets are on sale. Tickets are already selling.
Yeah, they're moving fast. It's always nice to see. They've only been on sale for like two or 3 days. So already done about 20 odd tickets. So that's real nice to see. But yeah, if you can't make this one for whatever reason, or if you've already got tickets to this one, or you don't move fast enough and you miss out, then get your tickets to April. Get in there. 96.eventbrite.co.uk. It's the same for every show we do. All the Ignite shows will be on there as soon as they're ready. Or just go to the Facebook page, Ignite Wrestling Pro at Facebook, and all of the information is on there. You'll always find the ticket links on there for all of our shows. Yeah, join us in April, whether you're at February already or whether you can't make it. Like we were saying at the start of this show, we're always trying to top that bar, always. So I'm sure this one will be an incredible show, and in April we got to try and top this one. So it's going to be an interesting year, continually trying to keep outdoing our shows. So come join us for that ride.
Come join us. Get in there. Obviously, the links we post, as you say, the links are on the Facebook that we post everywhere. We always retweet them, and we put our own little message up as well, so they'll be on there as well as that. Just be prepared when you do come on Sunday to empty your pockets, because the raffle lady will be back. Rachel, my other half, will be raffling the world for you guys. So
everyone loves a raffle. Everyone loves a raffle. Find Rachel. She'll find you. I'm sure she'll find you.
You don't have to find. Yeah, she will be coming to you. You don't have to find her. Don't worry. She'll come to you, and you will be buying a raffle ticket. And people will be walking away with some great prizes as always. And yes, the cameraman Gray also loves a raffle as well. So we'll if you hear shouts of raffle, it's generally Gray. But that will also be there as well. So we're going to do that. Massive card. April is going to be announced. Well, it is already announced, but matches will be announced as and when they can be. I need to do a couple of announcements. I've pretty much shouted out all of Buckle. We must get a show, and we get everyone from Team Buckle on the show.
So who've we got there? We got Taylor.
Got everyone but one.
Taylor, Aluna, Mike.
Well, yeah, Mike's a champion, but yeah, not necessarily.
Oh, you mean a show? Oh, you mean an actual show? I thought you meant literally like one of these shows.
We must get an Ignite show where every member is there.
I'm sure we can put that together. I'm sure between the two of us, we can do that.
I'm sure there's only one missing, and that is LA Taylor out of them. And everybody else is there. I wonder if we can make that happen somehow.
Try and make that happen this year at some point. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we can manage that. So I was going to say shout outs to all of them, but we've already done that. Just a quick few guest announcements while I can. Coming up Tomorrow, as this goes out on Tuesday, we can now announce we are media partners of TNA, which is a great reward for us.
Huge. That is huge.
So we get our first talent roster interview this week. The Decay, the Knockouts, the newly won Knockouts Tag Team Champions Decay. We have a very small interview window, which we will be taking to the fullest as we can on Wednesday. We're very appreciative of TNA and TNA UK for recognizing us and bringing talent our way for interview. That's very humbled to have that, reward, really. I always class it as. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. Hopefully that will be the start of many TNA roster people that we'll get as time goes on and as they become available. But after that, and moving into next week, and I'm sure some of the fans at Shenley Road will know when I say that, and will also probably may boo this one when I say that I have the pleasure of interviewing Alex Windsor next week, the former Rev Pro Women's Undisputed Champion, recently lost that to Danny Luna. We're going to be talking all things Rev Pro and bad microphones, which is a story that I can tell her on there. Also, we've got the Title Wrestling GM Mike Angus joining us. And then coming up near the back end of February, we have an ex-WWE Tag Team Champion. He's got kids, apparently. And I also need to talk to him about the skit with Brock Lesnar, when the Brock Lesnar echoed the words, "I don't give a shit about your kids," before F5ing him onto the big. He's since then been at TNA, fun enough, and he's now one of the hottest free agents out there. That will be, I don't know what you call him, Heath Slater, Heath Miller, or just simply Heath. Either way, he will be sitting down for a conversation in a few weeks' time. There's more to be announced. I can't really announce, apart from the fact we're going to be getting a Hall of Famer, but not in the WWE. Maybe not even in wrestling. That's but he has been a wrestler before we get it. He has been a wrestler, and maybe in another sport.
Can I guess? Am I allowed to guess, or am I not allowed to guess?
I'm not going to tell you if you get it right or wrong. So
the Hall of Famer in something, but not wrestling. But he has wrestled. Was he an actual wrestler? Or was he just involved in wrestling?
He was an actual wrestler.
Oh, okay, then my guess is I don't know.
You're going to have to be like everybody else and wait for my new spectacular announcements that I can. My editing skills are getting up there somehow. But yes, that is what we've got coming up in the next few weeks anyway. More to be announced on that. Maybe some more announcements to come, like we say. Maybe an announcement on Sunday, Ignite. So if you're there, maybe be prepared to see me again. Well, you will see me because I'm going to be sitting in the front anyway. But maybe be an announcement with that man right there on Sunday. And as CJ said, you can go onto any of your pages. We'll have the link to these very few remaining tickets for Sunday, and also the link to Full Throttle on the 21st of April. And yes, I've already purchased one of those tickets that already been sold, were bought by me. So I will be there as well in my usual seat, front to the left, to the right at the front, somewhere like that. That's the sort of buckle corner. We have to label it buckle corner. So, some kind of sponsored part of us. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah.
Buckle corner, I like it.
Buckle corner. Don't know where that come from. Anyway, CJ, as always, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure talking wrestling or just talking to you in general. I will see you Sunday. I will see some of you guys on Sunday. But we'll be dropping shows for the remainder of the week. Review shows generally will be the case, other than a Decay interview, which should be dropping on Thursday. It's a Wednesday night interview, so it should be dropping on Thursday. Don't miss that. Don't miss anything across our channels at HTT Buckle on Twitter, or X, Twitter, we want to call it, Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast, and all other social media outlets. But until we record again, everybody, he has been the Ignite General Manager, CJ Carter. I have been the host, Adam Cousins. And until we chat again, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.